As many of you probably know, EA and BioWare's 2019 game, Anthem, is shutting down for good in just a few days on January 12th. But unless you've been following my channel for a long time, you wouldn't know that my history with Anthem goes way back. To put this in a perspective, I'm currently 27 years old. And when I was 19, I was invited by EA to hear about and play Anthem with a bunch of other YouTubers. Safe to say, I have known about Anthem for a very long time. My name is quite literally in the credits. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. One of my Anthem videos is somehow one of the most popular videos on my channel, getting over 1 million views, and I've made probably 10 or more videos on the game in general over the years. With that being said, I felt it was only fitting to play the game one last time before it's gone forever. Literally. Hope you enjoy it.
Alright, y'all, we are back on Anthem. I don't remember this, I don't really remember the menu music being this sad. Maybe they added this in a patch secretly. Some good funeral music. The irony of this. You read this, guys? So here we have the game update. Anthem servers will be sunset January 12th, which at the recording of this video is 3 days away. Directly underneath that, Anthem is ever changing. Check out our acts and updates page to see what's coming next. I think I know what's coming next. Back in the saddle to fire Tarsis. This dude over here, that's all of us right now. I don't know how many people watching this video toy around with Unreal Engine, but I do think that Fort Tarsis, like it feels like one of those art packs that you get. Like you get like a mega scan pack or one of these just like environment packs. Then you go in, you download it from Unreal Marketplace, open it up, hit play. That's what Fort Tarsis feels like, where it's like visually, it looks pretty cool here, but it's very quiet. There's not really much interaction going on. Just kind of a dead area. Something that I feel like, if the game Anthem 2.0 came and different stuff, it's one of the things that I would imagine that they would have hopefully addressed. But yeah, to this day, it's still just kind of like an eerie. I mean, like, I'm not like doing anything with the audio. Like, this is just what it sounds like here. So interesting though. Like, you can still buy this for wait, can I buy shards? No way. Okay, never mind. I still have some coins. They're gonna take more than a few minutes, EA, I'm pretty sure. People walking down here. Probably gives them PTSD, dude. From that initial trailer, how much more lively this area looked. Like, it's one of those things like, did people know that that was scripted back then? I'm sure that they did. But did they expect that the actual product would just be this? Probably not. Whoa. Got like leaderboards and stuff. This is like the list of people that are like super depressed right now that this game is gonna get shut down, isn't it? One last time, I'm gonna teach you how to say goodbye. You had... Write in the comments if you know where that's from. Goodness gracious. Even on PlayStation. How old is this game? It's gotta be pretty old now. I mean, it still looks so good. And this looks so cool. Like, I know when the game came out, it got criticized for being like, the whole open world just looked very much the same. I'm getting tutorials. Yeah, like I know like there wasn't a whole lot of like variety in the environments, but and I know that they had a lot of issues with Frostbite. But I tell you what, man, this is still a beautiful game. Won't be rusty though. Don't really remember how to play. Dude, it's coming back to me how cool the flying is. As my guy's legs are broken there, but yeah, the flying is so good. Oh wait, I know what to do. I wish that like I could do this and like keep flying. You know what I mean? That would be fun. Just like I'm like a jet in Top Gun. Watch this. Whoop! Whoop. That sort of worked. I really feel like with Anthem, like multiple things can be true at the same time. You know, like, I mean, multiple things can be true with like everything in life, but I feel like this game is a good example of that because, look, Anthem was not a good game overall. Like, you have to acknowledge the faults with it. It had a lot of technical issues. The campaign was not good. The story was not good. There wasn't a whole lot of like endgame content. You know, it was very shallow. I don't remember there being like a great amount of like mechanics or endgame loot or really any endgame missions. It was like very light on content in that regard. Did I say the technical issues? Like, you know, the game had a lot of problems. But there is a good game here. You know, like there is a good foundation, you know, that they nailed, I think, with the verticality, with the flying, with the different javelin suits. There's like plenty to like, and you can kind of see if it was, and it's tough to say like, oh, if they gave them more time, because I know this game was in development for like 8 years and they just like kept restarting it. So it's tough. It's not necessarily like, you know, they launched it super early or something, but they just couldn't really find, I feel like, that winning. Oh, Jesus. My bad. Oh, they couldn't really find that, like, you know, winning formula or like what was really here to make this game work. Because I do think that if they were able to nail those other elements that make like looters good and what fans of BioWare would have wanted, then this game, I do feel like, would have been a success ultimately. Like, there's a lot of people that really thought that the base for what was here was good and worked, and are rather disappointed that they just gave up on it instead of tried to improve upon it and fix it over time. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like if there was just more mechanics, better mission variety, better variety in the open world, meaningful loot to chase, more endgame activities, more complex mechanics, all things that are like doable, you know. I feel like this game could have been pretty special, but ultimately I think there is a certain level of, you need to accept that it just it wasn't. It's interesting to think about though, like if they did support it, what Anthem would look like today. What different things would be added? Would we have different, I'm sure we would have tons of like more loot. I'm sure there would be, you know, would there be like more javelin suits? Would there be more enemies? Would there be a second map? I'm, you know, outside of like, I'm sure there would be like other missions and different things like that. It's interesting to see how the game would have evolved. I imagine that there's people out there that's like, it should have had this and that and that, and came up with all the ideas for BioWare. I'm gonna hit this guy with my one. What? That looked way cooler than it actually was. Wait, there's two of them? Oh, Lord. Oh, I forgot you can do that. You can dodge. Hold on. We're cooking now. I understand it now. What's this, the frost? How did you do there was like a combo mechanic, wasn't there? Where you could like prime something and detonate it, and it was like really satisfying. What'd I get? Epic item. See that right there? That's kind of a problem. My reward was text. I want to see boom, got on, you know what I'm saying? Oh, my bad. There was also that thing, what was it called? Like, I remember like people thought that there was going to be like a raid-like activity. You know, it was like from that initial trailer when they all go into the storm, and it was like, ooh, what is this? I don't even know if we either never got that or it was like very underwhelming, but I do remember that like there was a certain mission that they promised that was like literally just like the same thing as the final mission, and it was like very underwhelming. It was like stuff like that, whereas like Like, I never want to call anyone lazy. And it's interesting because it's like they did have a lot of time to make this game. So they had the time to do it, but I think when you keep restarting, then you gotta like... Then you sort of don't have enough time. Not because you literally didn't have enough time on the clock, but because by the time you came up with what you wanted the game to be, you didn't have a whole lot of time left. Is there a slide in this game? I feel like there should be a slide in this game. Or did Anthem predate sliding? So probably the two reasons why it failed, there was no slide and they didn't have the fish AI. See, now this is cool. Oh! So you can do it with like your super ability, but you can't do it with like that. It's a darn shame. It's a darn shame. One kind of valid criticism is the game is like, and this is like a thing with Frostbite, the game is like so realistic looking that without the little red dots, I would have no idea how to see all these little guys. Especially since you're like so far away, like there's no contrast with like them in the environments. Which, you know, it's not the biggest deal in the world. It might honestly be intentional. That they're like, these scrappers like intentionally blend in with the environment, but yeah. I think for some people, they wouldn't like the art style of this game because it does lean more realistic. It might kind of lack some uniqueness about it. It does look like a Frostbite game, which is not a bad thing necessarily, but there's so many things, man, you can say about Frostbite. I mean, Frostbite was built for Battlefield, and then they got, you know, the Dead Space remake looked incredible on Frostbite. But I know that there's been a lot of like issues of trying to use Frostbite to make like Madden and FIFA and different things like that. Ooh, that was clean. Y'all saw that. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough when you just have like a bunch of engine issues, because making games is hard enough. So if you also have issues with like the tech because the engine was built for something else or the engine is old, then it's just gonna make more headaches and cause more technical problems and take time away. I mean, maybe if you have dedicated people that are just, you know, engineers on the actual on Frostbite or whatever, which EA probably does, but yeah, it's gonna make things trickier when you're trying to just make the game itself. Look at how smart my guy is. Holy moly. Oh, it's tickling his bum, mate. One thing I'm gonna miss is this. What am I doing? EA. Oh, it's like a Riddler challenge. Hold on. What time? Minute 44 for gold? I'm gonna be doing this for 2 minutes? Oh, brother. Imagine if they added things to what is that? Imagine if they added things to this game where like you could go like faster and stuff. Like they could have just, I don't know, man. They could have done so much stuff to make this game awesome. Like all the stuff that you could have done to make like the suits modified outside of just like we added stuff to, you know, more, you know, your right bumper, left bumper abilities. So many cool different directions that they could have gone, I feel like. What in the Hey, yo! Hold on now. Hold on a minute. Oh, we cooking right now. Hold on a second. I'm locked in. I don't know if I'm getting gold. I don't know if I'm getting gold out here. Nah, we missed it. How can someone do that in that amount of time? Oh, yeah. We got silver, though.
Great job. Impressive time.
That is some, How y'all feel about that, right? Let me know in the comments how you feel about this, like, cheesy checkered flag in this universe. Alright, whatever. They were probably trying to add other stuff. I don't know. I don't remember that being in at launch. Did they add that in a future update? Just like trying to add some sort of content that would be really easy to implement. I'm also curious to know what the player counts are like. I would assume that it's not like blowing up, but there's probably more people playing. Just one last time. The whole situation is just unfortunate. You know, like I think maybe at a different time I'll have more to say. You know, I usually take my time, write out my thoughts and stuff like that. So this is a little more random off the cuff, but I think it's just a state of gaming, modern gaming and media in general. You know, like so much of the movies we watch are streamed on a platform that can get removed at any time. A lot of games are online only and live service and stuff like that. And so, you know, running servers and stuff like that costs money. You have to upkeep it like constantly all the time just to keep allowing people to play the game. And so like if no one's playing the game, but then you're running these servers, then it's like, what's the point if we're just losing money on this game? But then if you just pull the plug, like is what EA is doing, then all this work, 8 years of work on this game is just completely inaccessible. So it's just a really unfortunate situation. It's sort of sad and unfortunate that as I'm sitting here, I'm like, dang, like there is not like there's been like a lot of days over the last, you know, however many years that I've been like, ooh, I want to play me some Anthem. But it's weird to think that if that were to happen, it's like literally not going to be possible. I know that other games have done it. Other games, I mean, there's other games that have shut down that are completely unplayable, but there are other games that said like, okay, we're going to shut down the servers, but we're also going to make the game offline. So like, I know, for example, I don't think that they shut down the game. I know that like with like the Suicide Squad game, I'm pretty sure they did this where it was like they weren't going to go along with the original plan of like the 11 Brainiacs or whatever, but they did make it so that the game was available offline. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that's the case. I wish that they did something like that with this game. But it's tough. I mean, the game like Suicide Squad, if you play that all throughout by yourself, your other 3 squad mates are just like AI companions. They don't need to be filled in with actual people. Whereas I think Anthem was built out in this way where like it was going to be multiplayer first. You know, everything's just sort of, you know, when you build a game like that, it's a lot easier said than done. You can't just like, oh, let's just play offline. You know, they built the game to be online. They built it to be played with your friends. It's balanced around all of that. You have like all the things that go into just how it's coded to work on a server versus everything happening on the client. It would be a lot of work to make it work offline. But so like I guess what I'm saying is I'm sympathetic. I'm not one of those people that's naive to like, oh, just hit the button to make it an offline game. It's not that simple, but it is still unfortunate that that work wasn't done so that people that wanted to play it just allow them to. You know, they bought it. You just lose this product that they bought. And yeah, it's also just unfortunate that we never saw Anthem 2.0, which maybe the reason we never saw it was because the executives at EA looked at it and said, this ain't worth it. This thing's still trash. It still sucks. So, you know, maybe. Like, I think Anthem in general is just sort of in this situation where there was the initial promise of that trailer, and your mind can just go crazy. Like, I think of like horror movies where like when you start out watching a horror movie and there's so much mystery, it is like really scary and really interesting. But then when it's explained to you, it becomes like less scary and less interesting because you understand it or whatever. I think Anthem sort of lives in that similar space where, not to like the degree of it being like horror or something, but just that it's like, since it was never fully like real, since that trailer was like never fully real and that game never existed, people's imaginations just run wild of like this perfect, amazing game that it could have been and all the features that it could have had. And with Anthem 2.0, it's like the same thing where it's like, oh, they're going to fix the game. It's going to have its like Taken King moment. It's going to get so much better. But it's like behind the scenes, maybe it sucked. Like maybe it was never good. Maybe it was never improved and it just wasn't worth it. And that's why they ultimately pulled the plug. And so it's just a game that has a foundation. You could see where it could have led to something, but ultimately people decided that, you know, it wasn't coming together and it wasn't worth it. And then people that originally worked on the game were leaving the studio and they decided to, you know, put those assets in other areas of the company. And so that is ultimately what happened. And so it sort of just lives in this untapped potential that isn't necessarily clearly defined, that no one really knows if it ever would have lived up to that or not. But you can play, and you can certainly see that like there was a chance at this being good, but we'll never know for sure. With all that being said, though, like I would have liked to have seen it. I would have liked to have seen what Anthem 2.0 was. I would have, you know, there's a part of it's like as a consumer, I would have liked to have seen them give it another shot and make a sequel or something like that. But from like a business perspective and that whole thing, like I can understand why they probably felt like that wasn't worth doing with how the first game was received and how much money it probably cost to make and how many years of development that there were for that return. So it's tough, man. It's tough. I mean, it would have been cool, but I accept and I understand why that didn't happen. But that's really all I got to say about it. It's tough. I mean, listen to this. Listen to Fort Tarsis right now. Is dead, man. It's like a funeral out here. So yeah, it's weird. I mean, this is the first time I've ever played a game like this, and I'm like, this game will die in T-minus 72 hours. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Anthem, your experiences with Anthem down in the comments. And if you liked it, if you hopped back in and played it, I would imagine that there's some people out there that owned it that are like, I'm going to play it one last time, just like I did here in this video, while you still can. So if you watched this video and enjoyed it, made it all the way to the end, I appreciate y'all for doing so. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.